Welcome to another video. Today I'm in Colorado again for trip 2 of this September. Last week I was here with my brother and dad. We had a great hunt. You can check that out in the video in the description. It's called Bow Hunting Colorado Elk as Real as It Gets. But today I'm out here solo. I've got about a week to 10 days I can be out here by myself, and I'm just gonna go after elk, try to find a nice bull. But if a cow walks out in front of me and gives me a shot, I'll probably take a shot on a cow. I'm just trying to get experience elk hunting. I've never shot an elk before. I've only gone elk hunting twice in my life, so I'm just trying to kind of get out here and get experience on an over-the-counter tag and just learn more about the area, learn more about elk and in the mountains and everything elk in general. So it's gonna be a ton of fun. It's gonna be unique. I'm gonna hike way back into this spot. I'm already a couple miles in, got probably a mile left to get in here, and hopefully there's elk in there. If there are, I'm gonna stay in there a while. If there's not, I'm gonna bail out and go to another spot. So it's gonna be a ton of fun. All right, I just made it to my camping spot for tonight. It's kind of up and out of the way, so hopefully the elk don't hear or smell me or anything like that tonight. But it's about 4:30. I'm just gonna grab my bag and my bow and go hunting right away. I'll set my tent up and stuff after dark because I'm really itching to get after them. Pretty excited to see what's in here. Maybe I'll hear one tonight. It's the first morning here. I'm just kind of waiting for the sun to come up, waiting for the thermals to go up the mountain instead of down like they are right now. I'm just going to kind of work along the edge of this meadow into the timber and kind of get into some areas I have marked on the map that look like pretty good elk spots. I think there might be some wallows down there if there's water, and I think they might be bedding kind of in that area. It's kind of a north-facing slope, so I don't know. It looks pretty good. There's a lot of tracks in here. I think a lot of them are moose, but it's hard to tell for sure. I did see one fresh wallow yesterday after dark when I was hiking back to camp. It was probably maybe a day old, so I think they're in here somewhere. They're just not talking. I didn't hear anything at all last night, but just gonna slowly probably still hunt mostly today and see what I could find. Believe it. I found some elk. Those are the first elk I've seen in 8 combined days of hunting. Yes! They are exactly where I thought they were going to be too. Doing the exact same thing. They're coming down from the top, slowly going down to bed in the trees. There's one bull, I don't think he's legal. He's like a 3x2 or a 3x3. He's pretty small. And then like 4 cows that I've seen so far. That is awesome. Oh, that was awesome. There were 16 of them in total. There's just the one bull. And like I said, I don't think he's legal. But there were 15 cows and calves. And if one of those cows got in range, I might take a shot. They were kind of working my direction, but they were all looking downhill. Like they were staring at something. And then once they got closer to what they were staring at, they all took off running up the hill. My wind's going up, so I don't think they smelled me at all. I don't know what they were staring at or spooked from, but I saw where they went and the trail they took, so I think I'm going to wait a little bit, make sure my thermals are going up for good for the morning, and then just kind of slowly sneak along their trail. Maybe just pop up behind them. Well, I found out what they spooked from. There's another hunter down here. They got downwind of him, I'm sure, and smelled him. It kind of looks like he was going down and trying to cut that elk off in front of him, but I don't know, that really makes my hunting a lot tougher, but I guess that's just the way it is. I was really hoping there was nobody back in here because I hiked quite a ways back in here, but I guess that's just the way it is. Alright, I followed these elk tracks for probably 3/4 of a mile. There's a couple wallows that I passed, some really nice rubs. There's a rub right there behind me, and I'm getting into some pretty dark timber. And it's like 9:15 right now, so they might be bedded down or kind of in their bedding areas, just kind of munching around on some grass and stuff, but I think I'm just gonna take it slow and just do some still hunting. It's pretty quiet in here on the dirt, so that's gonna be my plan. If I do see an elk, I'm probably just gonna have to flip on my GoPro that's on my stabilizer and just be pretty quick about a shot before they see me or hear me or anything like that. But right now my wind is pretty good, so that's the plan. After 3 hours of silently stalking through the dark timber, I notice a large brown animal just 40 yards ahead of me. I instantly recognize it as a young cow elk, and as I knock my arrow, a much larger cow also appears from the thicker timber in front of me. Over the next 45 minutes, 2 young legal bulls make their way toward my location as they feed on small green leaves. I have a shooting lane picked out, and at 56 yards, a bull begins to walk through it. That was so close. So close. There were 2 bulls in there. I couldn't tell if they were legal for the longest time because they were in the thick brush, and I finally got a good look at them, and they're both legal. Barely, they're small, but they're both legal bulls. And then there was a cow, a collared cow, huge cow, way bigger than the bulls, at like 30 yards. And she never gave me a shot, and then she bedded down. One of those bulls I drew back on, and there were 3 different times. 3. I could see pretty much his whole body, except for right where I wanted to put the pin. There's either a tree or a log or something in the way. Like, so close. They were like about 55 yards, so a little bit of a poke, but I was pretty comfortable when I was drawn back on him and I had the pin on him. I was really comfortable about it, so I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't think they smelled me, and I know they didn't see or hear me. The one bull kind of ran up toward the other bull, and then the other bull took off like he didn't want to fight or something, and then the cow took off, and then the other bull took off too. So I don't know if they just left because I don't know why. I checked my wind right after. It's coming up the mountain still. I don't know, but that was just that close so many times. At least I found some elk though. That's 23 so far today. It's a good day. Well, that's a wrap for day 2. Close call, but just didn't make it happen, I guess. Never saw anything in the evening. I did hear some rocks fall up behind me, so I'm thinking and hoping that some elk worked up behind me, and they're up in this meadow up kind of by my camp where I saw them this morning. So hopefully I can find some there again tomorrow morning. But it's tough with the wind. Pretty much everything an elk does is for survival, and every way they go is the best way for them. So just the wind in the mountains it's extremely tough to deal with, and it seems like it's always changing. So it's so tough to even get close to an elk, but that's just the way it is, I guess. I'll try again tomorrow, but tonight I'm gonna do some Peak Refuel beef pasta marinara. I'll cook that up real quick, head to bed, and see if I can find some elk bright and early tomorrow morning. Well, I've been hiking most of the morning, and I just stopped to take a drink about 45 minutes ago. Looked up, and there's a cow and 2 calves at about 45 yards. Never had a shot. Cow was walking towards one of my shooting lanes, then picked her head up and took off running. So the wind was just terrible up there. The thermals were bringing it up, but then the actual wind direction itself was bringing it down, and it's just swirling all over. So kept walking a little bit and ended up bumping some more elk out. There's a pretty good trail here and quite a few beds back there, so I don't know how many I bumped out, but it was probably quite a few. It's just insanely steep up here. Like you just can't be quiet as hard as you try to. It's just so steep. You just can't keep your balance with a backpack on and everything. But I don't know, that's where the elk are at right now, so that's where I have to be. But they went down lower, and I don't know how far they went. I heard sticks snapping for a ways, but then I stopped hearing it, so maybe they stopped. But I guess the plan for today is just to kind of keep trying to sneak as much as I can through these bedding areas and maybe get up on some elk again and maybe get a shot this time. Well, here's the deal tonight. I found where those elk went, and I got to about 45 yards of the bull. But there was too much thick brush, and he was walking the other way. I keep hearing a bugle, too. I just heard it. I don't know if it's a hunter or an actual elk. I don't know, I heard it like 20 or 30 times over the past probably 2 hours. If it's a hunter, they're bugling a lot, so I'm hoping it's an elk. But anyway, didn't get a shot at that bull. Tried to loop around and get in front of him, and never saw him again, so I'm guessing they just walked too fast, got in front of me, and got out of here. But I never spooked them or anything like that. I think they were just headed down to feed for the evening. But I found a new wallow. It's fairly fresh. Probably yesterday was the last time it's been used. So I'm set up on it right now. I'm probably going to sit here for the rest of the evening. Got about 2 hours of daylight. Sure hope something comes into it. I've been close so many times. There has been a bull bugling his head off tonight. Like every 2 minutes he bugles and just screams loud. But it's too far away. He's almost a mile away, and it's too far to get there tonight. But hopefully he's still doing that in the morning. There's another one kind of up behind me a little bit closer to camp, still probably a mile from camp, but a little bit closer that direction that's been bugling too. So super, super exciting. That's the first bugles, first any elk sounds I've heard all day, or all trip rather. First bugles I've heard in 2 weeks from today. So pretty exciting stuff. Hopefully they continue to do it the rest of this hunt. Good morning, day number 4. Let's go find some elk. Well, I screwed up. Really, really badly. I heard what I thought was like a really young bull bugle. Didn't even sound like a bugle, but I figured it had to be. We're just right down below camp, a couple 100 yards, so I did the dumb thing and went above them. And the sun's just coming up now, so the thermals are still going down the mountain. And I was above them, and they were pretty good for a while actually. The wind was kind of blowing my scent across, and I watched this spike for a while. He was out there about 200 yards from me, and for some reason I thought he was alone, so I just kind of watched him. Then all of a sudden the wind switched and went straight down the mountain, and then here come 2 cows, a calf, and a really, really nice bull pop out of the trees and take off running down the hill. And I spooked him. Does not feel good. Should have came in from the side or something. I mean, my wind's gonna come up here in about, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, but I don't know. Should have waited or gone from the side, and I don't know what I should have done, but definitely not what I did. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I was gonna pack up camp this morning and head down a mile and put camp down a mile, because I haven't really seen any elk or heard any elk up here high. But now I have, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. still hunted through that whole bedding area that I saw him in yesterday and didn't see a single elk. Really no fresh tracks from today, so I don't think they were in there, but this bull's been bugling. And I got up here on this knob and I can kind of pinpoint where he's at. I think I know where he's at. It's a really nice looking bench and it looks like he's right on the tip of it, but it's kind of hard to tell. It's thick timber down there, so the sound could be casting off different directions, but I'm above him by probably 300 feet or so right now. I think I'm just gonna kind of get behind him, get the wind in my favor so it's going up the hill, and then just slowly slip in, and hopefully he keeps bugling and I can get closer. It's exactly where I heard that one bugling last night. It's probably the same bull. It might be that bull I saw this morning, about probably close to 2 miles, maybe over 2 miles up by camp. I don't know, but he's bugling about every 15 minutes probably. So hopefully he keeps doing that. It's about 3 o'clock right now. I've still got plenty of daylight. Let's go find him. Found him again. 35 yards from 5 cows. And the bull was probably 40 yards back in the trees. He bugled. I don't know how big he was. I didn't care. I was going to shoot a cow. I was just waiting there. I was probably waiting 15, 20 seconds. And they winded me. The wind was blowing in my face about 12, 15 miles an hour. Perfect up the hill. It's been perfect up the hill for an hour. And then all of a sudden it just dies and goes right toward them. And they're gone. But I found this awesome meadow with 2, 3, maybe 4 wallows in it, like super fresh. I bet that bull hit them within the last hour or two. But I'm like 2.5 miles from camp, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to hunt way back here or not. It'd probably be a 4.5 to 5 mile pack out. I don't know. It's a really good spot though, but that bull was still bugling down in the bottom, so I'm going to just kind of let things settle down. Wait for the thermals to shift downhill for the evening and head downhill and maybe catch up to him again, hopefully. Well, that was super cool. Those 2 bucks were like 25 yards probably. That one did not care about me at all. I got like probably 100 photos of him. He's pretty cool looking deer, super narrow, but nice 4x4. So, have not heard the elk in quite a while. I don't know what the deal is. They might have just kept going down. It's so hard to hear in this thick, dark timber. But I'm probably just going to sit here for a while and wait and see if I hear them. And if I don't, then probably head back to camp. It's going to get dark here in about 40 minutes probably. I don't know. Close call again, but just didn't happen. That's just elk hunting, I guess. I feel like I did everything right. Just didn't come together. Well, I made it back to camp again. It's about 1.25 mile walk in the dark, and my headlight is actually getting pretty dim. This is like the brightest setting right here, so that's not good. I do have a full set of extra batteries, but I don't know how long that'll last. I think I've only had these batteries in like maybe 5 days or 5 nights or something like that, so not great. But I'm gonna cook up some more food. I have 1 extra granola bar that I didn't eat today, and then I'm gonna have some more peak refuel. I've got 2 more of these left, and that's it. And then I have some other ramen stuff that I made up that I can eat later. But that's it for day 4. I am running low on headlight battery. I'm running low on my phone batteries, on my portable chargers. I've got a solar panel one, but it's been so cloudy the past couple days I couldn't really charge it at all. Gonna start running low on food too, and a little bit running low on energy. But that's okay. Anyway, right at last light I had a cow come in at 15 yards. She came right down the trail. I was sitting over a trail and a wallow. She came right down the trail until she got into a little group of trees, and then she decided to go up the hill instead of keep going on the trail into my shooting lane. So didn't have a shot, but that's elk number 42. pretty good. I've seen 11 bighorn sheep, 10 deer, and 5 moose. So pretty awesome trip so far. But I'm gonna get this food going, get to bed, and hopefully shoot an elk tomorrow.
Well, I was making some amazing chicken pesto pasta, and apparently I didn't zip the top shut all the way, and I spilled it like half of the bag all over my camera. But should be fine. I cleaned it up a little bit. I think it'll be okay. If for some reason you don't see this video, it's probably because a bear smelled my camera inside my tent and ate me.
But on a more exciting note, there's elk bugling like maybe 400 yards from the tent. That's exciting. I think actually I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow because my thermals won't go up the mountain until about a little after sunrise, probably 20 minutes after sunrise. And if I get up early and it's light out, I kind of get carried away and want to go look for elk. And that's what I did this morning, and I spooked them. So I'll probably just sleep in and wait for the thermals to switch and then go after them. Stars are awesome tonight too. Let's go kill an elk. I know I haven't been filming much of me hiking, but it is a death hike every day. I gain about 2,000 feet in elevation every single day because the elk bed way up on top, like timberline and the steepest nasty stuff. They know how to get away from hunters, but not me. Gotta just keep pressing after it. Been here 5 days, or this is my 5th day and 11th day total in Colorado this fall. Getting kind of tired, but gotta keep going. There's still elk here. I still have a tag. Season's still on, so I'm gonna keep going. Feet are kind of sweaty. Gotta air them out a little bit. That way you don't get blisters. Blisters on an elk hunt, it's no good. It's day 5, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting worn out. Don't like to admit it, but it's happening. I've been hiking 7 to 10 miles and gaining about 2,000 to 4,000 feet of elevation every day, and it's getting to me. That's probably like double that in total elevation, 4,000 to 8,000 feet up and down every single day. Sounds crazy, but I've been going like all the way to the top of this mountain basically, and then all the way down to the bottom, and then back up every day, just searching beds and looking for elk and looking at wallows and meadows and everything I can to try to get an elk. But I don't know. Hopefully tonight it happens. Well, folks, this might be my last solo video. Josh is coming in tonight. He's supposed to be here at like 3 in the morning. He's just gonna hike in right away, get here in the morning, and film me for a while. But I think the plan tomorrow is just gonna be hunt here around camp, like I've always been doing, first thing in the morning, see if there's anything in the meadows. There's a tent probably a quarter mile or so down, kind of below me, so I don't know if that's probably gonna change something. The elk probably won't come up through that way. They might go on the other side though still. And then after that, I think we're gonna move camp about 2 to 2.5 miles further down. There's been a bull, I got close to about 80 yards yesterday, and he's been bugling in the same meadow for 3 evenings in a row. And I'm pretty sure he's just right there in the meadow or by the meadow or somewhere there close. So we're gonna get in there tomorrow, and hopefully if the wind's good, we're just gonna sit on that meadow in the evening. There's 2 big wallows on it. It's an awesome looking meadow, exactly where you want to be in September. So that's gonna be the plan. Other than that, the elk kind of are giving me the slip. I don't really know where they're at, other than that bull and the cows that he has. So that's gonna be the plan, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. Well, I have a cameraman now, so we're gonna pack up. We just packed up the tent and everything, and we're gonna head down about 2.5 miles down the mountain. I've heard a bull bugling in pretty much the same area for the last 3 evenings, so we're gonna head down there. There's 2 wallows. It's an absolutely beautiful spot, and we're gonna plan to sit that tonight. I think they're bedding there somewhere close to, so we might be able to just sneak in and maybe call him into. That bull's been pretty fired up the past couple days, so I'm pretty jacked. Let's go. How neat is that? Well, we just got camp set up here, had some lunch, and the wind's finally coming up the mountain now, so we're just gonna sneak down to where I saw these elk 2 days ago. Looks like a really good area, perfect conditions. Hopefully we can find something. Sitting on the edge, so we're just gonna leave him on here and get out of here and kind of work down the other side of this hill. Just let him be. It's still about 3 o'clock. It's still early. We haven't seen or heard anything. We'll just try to leave these guys on here and we'll go somewhere else. We just got up to this high point so we could kind of hear down in the valley below, and we heard a bull bugle 3 times within probably 3 or 4 minutes. Sounds like he's kind of down off the point of this. So we're gonna get up here, just slowly sneak along. There could be about elk bedded up here, and then just kind of ease to the point of that and see if we can get a better idea where he's at. The wind should be coming up, should be perfect. We came down this hill a ways, and we haven't heard anything in a while. So we sat down, ate some snacks, just listened for bugles, and there's one somewhere down below us. He might only be 300 or 400 yards. There he goes again. Sounds like a younger bull, but it for sure sounds like an elk. So we're just gonna get down here and try to go after him. We heard quite a few bugles last night. We had that one pretty close. We were probably within 200 yards of them in the timber. But most of those bulls were down lower. Most of the elk we heard were down lower. And a lot of the sign we saw was down lower. We've got some hunters up here. They were sitting over a wallow last night. We kind of walked into them a little bit. But our plan for today is just going to go down about 1.5 miles, get down way lower, try to get into the elk sign a little bit more. But we're just going to still hunt our way down. There could be elk moving through. The sun's just coming up. It's still early, so they could be still moving. As we were walking down to our new campsite, we heard a bull bugle probably 5 or 6 times on this north-facing hillside. Perfect hillside for them to be bedding. So we're just going to kind of slip around top, get the wind in our favor. The wind's going up right now from the thermals. And just slowly still hunt all the way through where we think these elk might be bedding. quite a few tracks in here. There's a trail we've been following pretty fresh. Big old road. Oh. Oh yeah. Swirly winds in the bedding area, that's what we need. After sneaking through the timber for a few hours, we heard a nearby bugle. I think there's a Reinke tree.
He's standing there.
He's on higher. Our wind's going up right now.
Our wind's not good, so be prepared. Yep, follow him. If we can cut him off.
No, he's like right there. He's standing there right now. He's coming this way.
Okay. Our wind's going low right, so. You want, man. If you got a shot.
I don't have one. I don't know if I'll come in.
Get closer if you can. What happened? Did you hit? Did you miss? Tell me. Did you miss?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's keep going. There's your arrow. Right here. Right here. Keep going. Just get up. Just see them.
Those hunters.
What?
The hunters.
I kind of thought that, but I wasn't for sure.
I thought that too, but I mean, you gotta try.
Is it the same guys?
Yeah.
Look to be. Dude, that was intense for a while.
I see why people like elk hunting now.
Oh my god. I'm never gonna hunt elk any other way again.
That was insane.
Dude. That was an awesome experience.
Did you get any footage of him?
I was shaking like a...
You think you were shaking? How do you think I was shaking?
Oh my
I was
god.
standing on the log trying to shoot.
Dude, I had him. I wasn't zoomed in all the way because I knew I couldn't hold steady, but I could see him in the middle of the frame. And then I looked up and saw him, and I about shit my pants because he was like 40 yards. You're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate yourself. But you had a perfect shot from exactly where you were standing. I could see his whole broadside, like right behind his front shoulder. When you shot,
I know why I missed.
you hit that branch. It sounded like you hit a branch and then hit the tree.
Did it?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if
I
it
didn't nick that print.
I first did. At first I thought you hit him, and I was like, "What's happening? Let me know so I can call." You know, dude, that was insane. That was insane.
That worked out perfect too. He was at like 60 something, and I had a little opening, and he walked behind the opening, and then he turned around and came back, and he was facing me at like 50, and then I knew he was gonna keep coming. He kept coming. I don't think I've ever shook that much on anything. Like, I was like this.
Dude, I don't know how good the footage is because I am not kidding you. Like, I had him in the frame, and I looked up, and I like lost my, like, I completely lost it. Like, and then I looked back at the screen and I didn't see anything, and then you shot, and then it took off running. I think I was on him the whole time.
That's okay. I don't care. I thought you could see him good from there because you probably had a better angle than I did.
Yeah, I did.
Because I had that
one branch that stuck out.
Yeah, it wasn't a branch. It was, he was green. I don't know. I might have hit it.
I think you did.
Because there were like three of them. It was like this. The top one was the tallest.
Yeah.
And the top one was probably right where my arrow would have been at that, right where my 20 pin was basically.
What were you putting him at?
40.
40. That's exactly what I would have guessed.
Yeah. Because I ranged that 53 down low, and I'm like, I don't know, he's probably 13 yards closer.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah, you would have.
I must have nicked that tree then.
Yeah.
Because I was like...
If you didn't nick it, do you think you were still way off because you punched it, or...?
I don't know how I was probably this far from where I was aiming at 40 yards. I don't think even punching it, like...
Wouldn't have mattered?
It might have been 6 inches, but not 4 feet.
Yeah. Were you on him with the pin on him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if it wasn't for that branch, you would have hit him probably.
My pin was on him, but I bet, looking back, because like I said, the top little green was the tallest.
Yeah.
And I bet my 40 pin was on him, but my 20 was on that branch or something. Yeah. And it just, because I was leaning, and I couldn't lean any further without falling over.
Yep.
And he was looking right at us, and, I knew I had to, I couldn't pass it. I had to do something. I had to try.
I mean, where I was standing again, I could see everything clear as day. It sure was pretty watching him walk up. That's a big herd bull, man. That's probably the biggest one back here, to be honest. Not to make you feel bad.
That's the one I saw up by camp the other day. That's the biggest one in here, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's the one that sounds...
He's a herd bull. He sounds deeper than everything else.
He's nice.
That was insane.
I don't even know how far we went. A long ways.
A long ways. We were just bulldogging him. And he would have came in that one time if he would have seen something. It was too open.
It was, yep.
Yeah.
Because he turned and looked, and I said he's coming.
Yep. And then he stopped, and he couldn't see anything. And
he stopped, and... Yeah.
I should have bugled
50.
behind.
I was going to say that, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
You were too far. I couldn't cast my voice back there to tell you without, being too loud.
But at the same time, I kept thinking like he kept pushing his cows because we were too far away from him. So I was thinking if we can just get right in his face and bugle in his face, I thought he'd just get pissed off and come in. That was intense, though. Holy cow. I've never had an elk hunting experience like that, ever.
That's a lot more fun than sitting over trails.
Yeah, it is.
Dang. Did not think out of all the elk in here I would get a shot at the biggest one. I don't know, it finally worked out because we got close 5 times, probably within 70 yards 5 times.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And it just happened, you know, this time we were within 60 and he heard us and he decided to come up the hill. I think because we were in front of him more.
Yep.
We were like parallel with him, straight up instead of behind him.
And I don't think he knew necessarily that we were right there, you know.
No.
He didn't even look over our way.
No.
And the fact that moose was there and not spooked, you know, I think that helped him think it was okay. If he would have kept walking, would you have had a shot, or was that it?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, if he would have taken one more step right there, I probably would have.
Pinned with him?
Yeah.
That's okay.
But like I said, all the close calls the past 7 days with that much of a branch in the way.
Yeah.
I figured if he busts now, like I'll be mad at myself forever for not trying something. So I tried to lean out, and
I know.
Maybe I should have tried to actually take a step.
Yeah, you could have. You could get away with it, I promise. But that's okay, dude. Guess what that means?
We get to keep hunting.
We get to keep hunting. We get more experiences like that. That was insane.
Wow. What time is it? We chased him for
an hour.
2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah.
Was it?
It was like 12:20 or something. I looked right when we started.
Oh, that's right. Because when we made it to that wallow, I checked my phone to mark that spot, and it was the same place that I had it marked.
Yeah.
To check out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It was 12. I think it was 12:20 when we first started trying to call him in, and it's 2:20 now, and we went quite a ways.
That wasn't those hunters the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
You think the hunters were the ones that I bugled at first, and then he responded to me?
I think so, because I said that kind of sounds like a hunter, and then he bugled, and we're like, that's for sure a bull.
Yeah.
I think the hunters bugled first. You answered the hunters. The bull answered you, and then the hunters answered the bull again.
Yeah. They were bugling a lot.
Yeah.
They were never fast enough, though.
They were like all the way down here for a while. I guess their wind probably wasn't as good as ours.
We were in a good position.
Yeah. Man, that wind was so close so many times.
It was. Especially that time he stopped and looked.
Yeah. Yeah, I like crouched and went forward. That's terrible.
Yeah,
shooting
dude,
form.
you were like on your toes and everything.
Yeah.
Like I think I like.
Like I said, I was gonna fall over if I went any further.
No, it's fine. Like it happens. I mean, that was an awesome experience. I don't know if we could keep it together or something like that. I mean, a big herd bull like that on public land over the counter in Colorado, I think they're a little bit wiser too. I think if we were just about anywhere else, like honestly, I think if I was in Idaho and I would have done exactly what we did to start, that bull would have came running right in.
Yeah, we weren't very far when we got over that first hill. We were like 120 yards, probably. I came to Colorado over the counter so I could learn about elk hunting, and I've sure learned a lot about elk hunting. Well, we had the most unbelievable experience in the elk woods that we could ever imagine. And I finally got a shot at that bull at 40 yards, and I smoked a tree limb and missed him. Went like 3 feet over his back, and he took his cows and got out of here, and we haven't heard him since. But it was just absolutely amazing. It was just the craziest experience ever. And while we were chasing that bull, we came across this little tiny meadow, and it has like 8 wallows in it, all super fresh. So we're just set up here right now. It's like probably 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And we're just gonna listen for bugles for a while, and if we hear anything, we'll probably try to go after it again. We thought we heard one a couple hours ago down below us, but we're not sure, so we'll just kind of sit here, have some snacks, kind of refuel after that experience, and hopefully hear some bugles this evening. We had a couple cows come past, a cow and a calf. I think they were mewing up in the trees. We never saw them. Pretty cool, but there's one still up there mewing. I don't know what the sound means exactly, but pretty neat. I think the plan is going to be come back here tomorrow morning so we can listen, and there's 8 wallows here, so it's got to be a good spot. I'm hoping some bull might come past, but you can see the moon rise behind me. Pretty awesome evening. Pretty amazing to be out here. Having Josh's tortilla soup for supper tonight. It looks amazing. I had it the other night. It's pretty awesome. Check out his video on the channel to see the recipe. Backcountry cooking at its finest.
Sun's just coming up on the treetops. It's probably 7 o'clock right now. We haven't seen her or anything in daylight. We did hear a bugle way down that direction, just at dark. But I think I'm gonna just sit here, play it safe, and then in about 30 minutes, if we don't see her or hear anything, I'll let out a bugle. Maybe get something to respond. We're back here on these wallows, so it's a really frequently traveled area by the elk for sure.
What do you got there?
So brown. My first moose antler. It's super small and it's been chewed up. That's cool. Take some pictures. Oh man, what a find. Let's uncover this beast.
Giant.
Getting a lot of glare.
Just kidding, he's chewed up like absolutely everywhere. That's still cool though. First moose shed. Man, what a view. This place is awesome.
That is a big sow. What do you see there, Micah?
Sow and 2 cubs just walked out on the meadow.
That's exciting.
That's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Those cubs are way smaller compared to her.
She's big.
She's pretty brown color too. It's like a brown silverish color.
Really?
It's a really nice looking coat.
I gotta look with my binoculars.
Yeah. Well, it's the morning of day 9. Did not see an elk yesterday. We think we heard one. It could have been a hunter. We're not for sure. It was like last light in the evening. And I heard one this morning, but I think it was probably a hunter too. And we sat on this wallow once again. Did not see anything come in. So we're just going to work up the hill. We've got a pretty good wind today. It's probably 15 miles an hour, kind of blowing in the perfect direction for us. So we're just going to slip through the bedding areas and maybe get up to some areas I was at a week ago where I found elk kind of really up high, and hopefully find something today.
That's an elk.
That's an elk.
That's an elk.
There.
Yep. Let's just go straight that way. Like 500 yards maybe, 400 yards. It sounded like that one from last night. There's no way that was a hunter. It responded way too quick.
That's where I heard that last bugle too.
Yep.
That sounded like an elk.
We've gone 150 yards now. We're gonna let out another locating bugle, see if he bugles back. It might be closer than we thought. I have no idea. Maybe a spike. I went there the next evening and it still looked the exact same. Really? Just found a fresh bed It's super, super fresh. So I'm gonna let out another bugle, maybe he'll respond. Yep, yeah. Right down over here, probably 300 yards, 200. I heard it like right there. Yeah, I heard it like right that way. I think the wind's been coming up most of the time. We've been chasing these bugles and we heard him down here. We thought he was like 800 yards away. So we came down, tearing down the mountain pretty loud and pretty fast. And I just stopped for a second and Josh stopped doing it. Right when we looked up, they were like 40 yards away. They ran down the mountain, but he just bugled again. It's the big one that I missed the other day. He's still in the area. We're not far from where they were the other day. So we're gonna eat lunch and just listen and then follow the tracks and hopefully get on him again.
That bull stopped bugling about 2 hours ago probably. We thought maybe he bedded down, so we just listened for a while and didn't hear anything. And we ran into another hunter, and he shot a cow last weekend and was sitting over it for bears, so he's probably gonna stay in that spot. And we haven't heard that bull for a couple of 3 hours now. And he might have just smelled that other hunter and got out of here. We're not really sure, so we're just gonna keep going the way we were headed before, see if we can find some more bedded elk before they get up and move for the evening. I'll talk after he bugles. Well, it's the end of day 9. Didn't get an elk today. We did see that big bull and 3 cows and then some other cows in a different group, but that bull is just bugling his head off right now on the opposite hillside. It's probably half an hour after dark. It sounds like he's kind of working up the way he has the past.
Listen.
Here he goes again.
That's crazy.
It's kind of pretty much right where we left him, but those other hunters were in there and he quit bugling earlier today, so we just let him be. But tomorrow morning we're planning to come somewhere up on the hillside here and just listen and see if we can hear him. It's the morning of day 10. This bull is bugling just like he was last night, right in the same area, and it almost sounds like there's another bull with him. We're just gonna try to get in really close while they're still talking. Shortly after first light, we find a big bull.
Our wind's going up now. Try to keep a tree between him and we'll let him go. He's facing away. He's facing toward us. Just angle up. I'd walk after him. Too fast. Stay with him. You'll get a shot. Keep moving. Where was that? Down right where we were. That's that other bull.
I just saw two. I don't know what they were. It's a spike. There's a couple of them. I think I last saw them right in here. I think they're going up over this side. It's like 40 yards, whatever it was. Get your feet good. Let's go. Cow's moving right. Do you see him? There's a spike probably 50 yards walking up and to the right. Or now he might be walking towards us. You can fit it in on that crease if you're confident. Yo. She's gonna go over that log. How far was that log? The log's 37, which was 35. That's exactly what I guessed. It's literally, if she took a quarter step further, it would have been absolutely perfect. I was looking where I was at. I was like a foot to your right, and I had a perfect shot. Like there's a 5-inch gap I could have shot to. No, there was no way. Because looking from my perspective, I was like, you can squeeze it in there. And then I looked at you, I was like, no, you can't. If I was right there, I could. They didn't go very far. They don't know. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. We got to 35 yards of that bull early this morning. It's a different bull, probably a bigger bull than the one I missed the other day. And he saw us and took his cows up the hill, and we never heard him again. And then we slipped her out and saw a spike with 4 cows. And I got to 35 yards of that one cow, but there were just 3 sticks in the way, and I couldn't take a shot. I just didn't have a clear lane, and she ran off and took the herd with her, and we haven't seen those since.
That was cool. They didn't make a peep.
Those were the 3 from before.
Yeah. They didn't make a sound.
They were like
15 yards.
14, 15 yards probably.
I saw the mom come rolling up. I thought it was an elk at first. I was like, my God.
We've been still hunting most of the day. Haven't seen anything since this morning. We did have the sow and 2 cub bears come in, probably about 15 yards away when we were just sitting listening for bugles. That was pretty awesome. This evening we're just set up on a trail. There's a wallow in front. We only have about half an hour of daylight, but it's kind of a last-ditch effort for today. Well, it's the morning of day 11 now. We didn't hear any bugles this morning. It's about 8 o'clock right now. We're pretty much out of food. Josh brought 5 days for both of us, and we're both out now, so we're gonna head back to the truck. I think I have to head to town and grab some more food, but we'll be back here. We're just gonna go grab our tents, move them up a little bit, set up camp, and we've got 3 more days after today to hunt until season ends. So this is the most elk we've seen pretty much anywhere in Colorado that we've been. So we're gonna come back here and try our best the next couple days. So haven't been back to the truck in 11 days, but it's still here. A tree didn't fall on it, so that's good. We're gonna get some food together for the next 4 or 5 days. 3 more days of season after today. We're gonna hike back in today and get after the elk again. We were only gone a couple hours, but we're back. It's snowing, it's beautiful. It's nice and calm now. It was super windy when we left. We've got about an hour and a half of daylight left. We're probably just gonna kind of still hunt and listen for bugles, but let's get after it. Zero elk, 1 pine marten, 1 hunter so far this morning. How cold is it? It's like -45, I'd guess. Is that accurate? I don't know. It feels about like that. I bet honestly it's probably about 10 degrees this morning. It's pretty chilly.
My water bag was pretty much half frozen solid.
Yeah. My body was pretty much half frozen solid in my sleeping bag. Well, it's not what it was a week ago. The water kind of dried up. There's still a few tracks, but it doesn't look like it's quite as fresh as it was. Let's see what this one sounds like.
Any words?
Nothing bugled, you know what that means.
Tons of elk?
There's only big mature bulls in here. Well, we made the decision to leave our other spot. We hiked out in the dark last night and drove over to this new spot this morning. We're just hiking up. We're just pretty much gonna day hunt it and see what the sign's like. We can cover most of it today and just go from there. So pretty exciting being in a new spot though. Already found some elk. 2 cows and 2 calves.
I just want to say that went forever.
I think that was my best bugle in the wild.
That's pretty good.
Let's go find some elk.
Yep, typical Colorado.
Well, we had 17 bulls answer us, but they're all to the west of us, about 400 miles in Utah, so we won't be able to get there before dark.
Dude, that thing was a giant.
It's huge.
I have never seen a Shirus moose that big.
After searching the entire basin and finding little to no fresh elk sign, our time was running thin and the elk had seemed to vanish everywhere we went. With only 1 day left in the elk season and 2 days left on our trip, we decided to leave the rugged Colorado mountains and head back to Nebraska in search of mule deer with our remaining time. Living in the backcountry of Colorado for 13 days gave me a true respect for the animals we pursue as bow hunters. As much as we may practice and prepare for big hunts like this, the animal always has home field advantage. Getting within shooting distance of any elk is a big win in my book, but on this trip, I was able to get within range 12 different times on over 20 different elk. Nothing in hunting is guaranteed, especially with thick timber, swirly winds, and steep rocky hillsides in the mix. Every opportunity we get to harvest an animal should be cherished and recognize that it might be our last opportunity. However, every opportunity we get at close call encounters with any animal, especially a large mammal like an elk, makes us truly appreciate the amazing experiences us bow hunters get to witness. Although I did not harvest an elk on this trip, my elk hunting knowledge grew more than I could have ever imagined, and my appreciation for wild landscapes and wild animals did the same. Being able to see 75 elk, 16 deer, 13 moose, 11 bighorn sheep, 3 bears, and 1 pine marten during my 103 miles of hiking and 162 hours of hunting over the 13 days was truly incredible. Although I may be leaving the mountains for now, I promise it won't be for long.